this week's second edition of Cats Whiskers TV. In this show, we're just going to be exclusively concentrating on the Panthers-Steelers games that took place at the weekend. On Saturday, it was at the Motorpoint Arena, and our correspondent Scott Antcliffe has all the details.
Hi there, back from the Steelers game, resulting in a 5-3 win for the Steelers against the Panthers at the Sheffield Arena. Good to see a game where the Steelers actually came out and they wanted to win, and they had that passion and that commitment there. That's something that's been lacking over the last sort of couple of months, since the season's really started. So it's good to come out and see them play how they did. Win or lose, if they play like that, you can't fault them. Playing for a full 60 minutes, being more physical, playing the body, and just playing with a lot more passion and intensity. Panthers took the lead in the second minute. David Clark on a power play. He was on hand back post to tap home a rebound. Steelers responded almost instantly. Legui in the 5th minute got us back on the board for his 13th goal of the season. Fight in the first period as well. Rob Dowd and Chris Murray, they came together earlier on in the game and sort of exchanged a few blows and a few words. So they lined up next to each other at a face-off. And then the gloves were off. Murray slashed Dowd in legs to get it going, and Dowd, doesn't normally lose his cool like he did, and he just, threw his gloves off against the bigger and a tougher Murray. But Dowd gave a good account of himself in that fight. But Murray took the fight. He got the win with some good early punches what he got there. But it was good to see Dowd, sticking up for himself and showing that he ain't going to be bullied or sort of intimidated against a bigger and a more physical player. So, second period, Steelers come out, all guns firing, all guns blazing. Got on the score sheet again, Chad Langley with his first goal of the season. Pretty good goal, bit fortuitous, sort of bounced in off the shaft of his stick on the power play. We got another goal soon after. Jonathan Phillips in the 28th minute skated down the left wing, cut inside, showed some great speed, great composure, and just roof one past Neil Conway. Really good goal. I think going ahead and getting those 2 quick goals kind of shook Conway. And I think if Kay Wall were in net for the Panthers, it might have been a different outcome. Then Panthers responded in the 33rd minute. David Clark, cracking goal, it was high slot, roof one high past Doyle. Nothing Doyle could do about it. Absolute great goal from David Clark. Then Steelers got another. Chad Langley once again, 2 goals in one night, waits all season. 2 come along at once, bit like buses. Great goal from Langley, left wing or left sort of left point, slap shot, low past Conway. Great goal on the power play. So that gave us a 4-2 lead. So really dominant second period performance from the Steelers. So going into that third period, Panthers got a goal early on. Jonathan Weaver, he was full into the ice, but he managed to get a piece of the puck and just roof one high. Pretty good goal from Weaver. And then, after that, Steelers, they kind of sat back a little bit, and Panthers sort of, they were throwing everything at the Steelers, and we looked a bit lax defensively in that final period, and we took his foot off the gas a bit when we should have kept going at the Panthers. A bit of pressure in the third period. Panthers felt as though they could have scored at any time. But we got an empty net goal with 32 seconds of the game left. Legui just sort of went in, took the puck and just tapped it in from close range. But overall, a better team performance from the Steelers, and it was good to see that energy and that passion once again. Hopefully, they can carry on doing that.
My thoughts of Scott there on Saturday night's game. Of course, we was in here last night, Sunday night, with Aaron to talk about the game straight after. It was quite a happy place in here last night, wasn't it?
It was. I really don't know why, but yes, even I was happy. Yeah. Even me.
So, of course, the three of us discussed the game and the weekend, and we also got the views of fans as well from both sides, Steelers and Panthers. And watch out for a familiar face from previous Panthers-Steelers games who likes a bit of a rant.
Oh, where do I start? Last time I was down here, I berated the team that was abysmal, 10 times more. The only people, I'll say, that showed up tonight were Frank Doyle and the fan base. The rest of them looked like they really could not be bothered. Going up the ice, we had no sense of direction. We could not pass the puck again. It's always the last man bringing the puck up when we're on the power play. Don't even get me started on the power play yet. You know, I mean, we had the first period incident where Henley and Spencer challenged Murray. Murray turned away. Henley comes off the bench, batters Spencer. There's no other way to put it. Spencer got the first punch in and Henley just put him to bed in 2, if that, you know, and then Spencer's down on the ice holding his face because he just got embarrassed. You know, Henley obviously got thrown out because he left the bench. It was an obvious call. You know, I thought Makela was slightly unlucky to get thrown out for boarding on Dowdy. I've seen them mostly called 2+10 for checking from behind. I was surprised when it was a major. But I think it really sums it up when Robert Dowd, who misses the last 20 odd minutes of the game, picks up your man of the match. You know, I'd have given it to Doyle because he was the only one that really tried tonight. You know, Hewitt, last period, jumping Joe Jensen. I mean, I'll give Panthers credit. They did such a good job of getting under our skin early doors. They really did. They made sure that we knew they were there. They finished the hits all the time, like they did last time. But my God, we were gutless. We really were. I honestly would not pay a single one of them. Doug Christensen does not want paying at all either. Again, showed no emotion apart from having a go at Hicksey over 1 or 2 calls. Have a go at your flipping team, because they're the ones that are letting you down, and you're the one that's been letting the fan base and the ownership down. It was absolutely catastrophic tonight. You know, 6-1. I mean, to start with, the Panthers I didn't think would look that much of a threat. But during that second period, the alarm bells were there. Third period, fell apart. We really did. And there was no emotion, no passion, and all we could do in response was do stuff after the whistle. We could not throw a damn hit all night again. We couldn't chip in the ears. We just could not do a single flipping thing there tonight. And a lot of them don't want paying. I honestly want to send Doug Christensen home after that tonight, because last night we were great. I thought we controlled what we did in front of what was an average Panthers team, because Panthers actually left Conway out to dry a bit last night and he looked shaky all night. But tonight we really showed them how to hang a goalie out to dry. We really did, and I really want to say a hell of a lot worse, but I'm not going to, because there's a lot of people that are going to be watching this, especially people younger, and that's the only reason why I'm holding back right now. More things while I've got them in my head. I left the building right at the end tonight. I did not bother clapping the players off the ice, because quite frankly I don't think they deserved to. The only one that deserved it was Frank Doyle, and I feel extremely sorry for him, because again, you know, there was no team in front of him. But I made a passing comment to a friend that I'm here with tonight saying, look, we'll go straight away down here to do this thing. And the fan in front of me turned around and she asked me if I was even a fan. And I said, yes, I am a fan, but I'm a fan enough to actually realise when the team plays absolutely crap. And I am human enough and level-headed enough to say, when we're crap, I'm going to slag the team off. When we play well, I'll praise them. But tonight they did not deserve to be clapped off, apart from Frank Doyle. And on the way out, I was still running my mouth about the team tonight, and there was a Panthers fan shouted and walking the other way going, you can do all the moaning all you want, because Steelers were a sack of you know what tonight. And all I turned around and just went and just held my shirt up and said, you know what, it might as well be brown, because that's exactly what we were. You know, I could not argue with the guy. We were terrible.
Really good tonight. Thought we showed positive signs of desire, passion, you know, a full performance. We weren't great for 60 minutes, and at times we had our down spells, but I thought if I could see that desire and passion every game I'd be happy regardless of result. I thought it was just a spirited performance.
Feisty, good entertainment. From a Sheffield perspective, we just kind of lost in that third period. Not even played for 60, we played for 40, and you took advantage. Not much more to say. It was like last night's game, but both teams last night played for 60. Unfortunately tonight we kind of just couldn't keep up for the full 60, and Nagam took full advantage. Fair play.
And I understand that you're up for Fan of the Century. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about it.
I'm a bit dubious about that, but it was fun. I checked it online on Monday, and it's an Ice Hockey Arcade Award, and I believe, from what I'm being told, it's through work for the All Stars. And it's nice to be nominated in that, but it's very much everybody involved in the All Stars award. It's not just me. Hopefully people will vote, please. To me, it's very much a vote for the All Stars and what we've done, yourself included, because when you skate around in a little pink number, it's very much it's recognition for that, which is it's nice in a way, because a lot of people put a lot of work in to the All Star weekend, and it'd be nice to bring something else to celebrate next July.
I thought we played well. It'd be interesting to see if it's a turning point. I hope it is a turning point in the way we played in terms of just effort, sheer effort we had tonight. Almost back to Riga. We looked like we wanted it. So played well. Sheffield didn't look good. I hope we can keep it up and carry that on into Asiago and past, and it will be all right.
Sunday night in the bunkers after the game, Aaron joins us, as unfortunately he can't make the main show because he's skiving again.
I think you'll find I am at a conference in Edinburgh.
He's skiving. Yeah. Free booze, free expenses.
Expenses will be paid for, not by myself.
So this is why Sunday night we are in the bunkers, where Panthers have just had a fantastic 6-1 victory against the Sheffield Steelers after losing 5-3 to the Steelers at the House of Steel on Saturday night. So we're going to discuss the whole weekend, starting with Saturday night. Not a great performance by Panthers. Poor first two periods, excellent third period. But I think we've said it several times this season. Play for 20 minutes, you're generally going to get beat.
Oh yeah. It's the biggest rule of hockey. You've got to play the whole game. If you don't, you're going to get beaten. I mean, how many times do you see a coach? I mean, it happened Christensen when we beat him down here last time. I thought we dominated for 50 minutes. They didn't. And dominating for 50 minutes don't get you anywhere if you're rubbish for the last 10 and the team then beats you. You only play for 20 minutes, you're going to get beaten 9 times out of 10. Simple.
Obviously, I said last night when Panthers came out, I didn't like the look of their body language. They looked like a beaten team when they actually took to the ice. Do you think there's maybe some issues with having so many players on the roster, so many injuries? It's probably not as settled team as it should be.
Possibly. I mean, I think even going back to last season very briefly, when we signed like Beauregard and we had one extra import, and it was like, well, who's going to miss out? Even Graham missed out last year. There was Gallivan missed out last year. I don't know. I think this year it's a little bit different because we've had so many injuries. We've had to recruit and we've had to get bodies in. I mean, I texted you last night about the game and stuff, and you were saying body language and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That's very worrying if there is something wrong in the dressing room. There isn't that camaraderie, there isn't that team spirit there. I thought tonight there was bits of it, especially when we scored certain goals. There was a bit of fight there and a bit of, come on team. But I just don't know whether. I think we've actually got a lot of laid-back players this season. There is a lot of people that do not show that much emotion, and you cannot question whether they're going to give exactly 100%. I just think it's certainly like their manner. Like Ryan, even Salters. He's very laid back in his approach and stuff like that. I don't think that necessarily means that they're not giving 100% and they don't care about the team. But the amount that we've got on the roster in 1 week's time, you will see that change, I imagine, once Continental Cup action is over. There's going to be people out the door. Realistically, I don't think anybody could possibly say necessarily who they are going to be, because we've not had the best of starts. People that were here at the beginning might not be here, come 1 week, 2 weeks time. That's something that we'll find out.
Paul, you said last week that 99 times out of 100 it is always the best team that wins a game, and I think that was clearly the case last night. Sheffield were the better team over the whole game and won the game. But we pushed them close. They had to score an empty net goal to absolutely make sure of the points. Does that say more about the Steelers team than perhaps it does about the Panthers?
What question's that?
You get in-depth issues on Cats Whiskers TV.
Sure you don't get in-depth answers. Maybe. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. It could be that, I mean, it's like tonight. First 10 minutes I thought Sheffield were better than us. Then I thought...
What about last night?
I'm getting there. First 10 minutes tonight I thought they were better than us. Then we got a goal possibly against the run of play. Then we had all that pressure, start of the second period. Salters takes that stupid penalty at the end of a period when we'd had a lot of power plays, and they scored on it, make it 1-1. I thought at that point, the momentum shift, the massive momentum shift their way, they should have gone on and won it. But they didn't, for any number of reasons. And, I mean, yeah, maybe it does, maybe this team has got a bit of grit in it, has got a bit of fight in it. I guess we'll be talking about Makela in a bit. But I like the way he plays. He fights. Jensen, I thought tonight had got a lot of, they're fighting for stuff. And that's what you want from a team. Because a team that's fighting will grind out results eventually. Does that answer it?
Yeah, just about. So we'll move on to tonight. We'll move on to tonight's game.
You answered that question.
Just about. Go on.
Let's move on to tonight. So 6-1. 2 periods, very, very close, but a lot of talking points, a lot of incidents in that game. So I think we'll start with Brett Henley. So all I saw was I heard a commotion, looked around, and there's Brett Henley absolutely beating the living you-know-whats out of Tim Spencer. Great to see. You can't beat seeing a Panthers player giving a Steelers player a bit of a smackdown. It's always good. But...
Can I just stop you?
Go.
The world's most Yorkshire man's just walked in. He's got a Steelers shirt and a flat cap. I can only assume he's tied his whippet up outside. Go on.
Is that a ferry down his trousers? Anyway.
Right, no, he's just pleased to see you.
No, quick. Can we get a look at that? Can we get... Pam round. There you go. There he is. There we go. The world's most Yorkshire man. Live on Cats Whiskers TV. Anyway, tonight's game. Yep. Tonight's game. So the Henley incident. So I saw... A lot of people said he came off the bench. Did he?
Well, from what I saw, and this is my first reaction, right, is I thought he was coming off as the next line. But, I mean, thinking back to it or whatever, my point of view is, and it's probably totally wrong from a hockey point of view and rules point of view is, but... Spencer's there, giving it the old come on to I believe it was Murray, giving it that, blah blah blah. I thought Henley Kicks was skating on as the next line. Spencer throws the first punch, right, and I think that is very, very important. Henley, Henley did what Henley does in a fight, 9 times out of 10 batters him. But what annoys me most is that literally you would have thought that Spencer had got a life-threatening injury. You really would though, because he's there on the ground, he's there covered up, he's there like that, covered up like that, lays there for 5 minutes, slight exaggeration, but they're like, the linesmen, everybody's like that, waving on the physio or doctor or whoever. He gets up, skates up, has a laugh, nothing's wrong with him. The next shift that he does, he's all laughing, smiling, joking, blah de blah. I'm sorry, but you cannot expect to give it all the big one against somebody. Like, I give you the all big one, like, come on mate, you're not having any of it. Paul then comes in, batters me. You expect that? Was it an excessive roughness call for me? No, it wasn't. I mean, and this is my probably slight less of hockey knowledge compared to you two, but I would have thought it would have been third man in, if anything, to a certain degree.
They didn't drop, Murray and Spencer didn't drop the gloves.
Scuffle when I first saw it, so then he came off, but that might be wrong. Excessive roughness, the only thing that I would say that could be for then is the fact that he was still pummeling him a couple of times when he was down on the floor.
Yeah, and which is excessive roughness.
Yeah, but then we'll come back to something later on where you want consistency. But I don't know. Yeah. To me, just very quick, I don't think Henley was ever going to last the match.
No. Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it were Easter.
What's that?
One of those Steelers players that were dying and then coming back to life straight after. I tell you, a box of Terry's All Gold's not got as many soft centres as they have.
They are.
I'm here all week.
They are. They're a bit gutless. It has to be said.
They were trying to play X all night, and most of the time were succeeding. And the number of times that they, it was like watching Riga all over again. As soon as the whistle's gone, then they're chipping in. I mean, Spencer, I think somebody told him it was a 7 o'clock face-off because he only turned up near the end. But, it was... I can see why he got the excessive roughness penalty. He kept going when the bloke was on the floor. But at the end of the day, if you invite somebody, then, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Can I just say very briefly, right? Something that you won't see on the highlights because I don't think it'll be filmed. But you need to look at Doug Christian during that whole event.
Oh, well, I saw he was screaming at Hicks and
he was.
whining and bleating, yeah.
You see Henley when he's in the penalty box, stood up, giving it the mouth. That is because Christian's there effing, blinding and jeffing. And all game, Doug Christian did that. Tom Norton's delay of game.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. He was up there waving, blah, 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 all that. Purely to, and I'm sorry, but this is my personal view, right? But Nottingham is, and this is a little bit of a rant, but Nottingham is a city that's built on sporting heritage. You have your Brian Clough, you have your Forest. I know it's a problem, but we play sport the way it's meant to be played. We play it right. We try and win the right way. Now, I would rather lose every game trying to win hockey.
Put the glass collector off.
The right way, right? I don't want to see that type of hockey at my team, the way Sheffield play. Right? The way they try and... I know it's a bit of a rant, and I know people are... But the way they wind up, the way that they play... even Paul said after the whistle, the way that Doug Christian does his... I don't want to support a team that does that. So I'm very proud of the way that Panthers and the whole organisation is set up and the way we try and win games the right way.
I thought we actually did quite well keeping our discipline in front of severe
Two men kicked out.
Yeah, but we were quite disciplined. They were trying to get us to fight, and we just weren't having none of it. I think some Sheffield players need to look down their shorts and try and find something because there's not a lot there.
Yeah, but that's my point. If you're going to do it, but back it up with actually, following it up.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stand people. If you want to fight and you want to, do it.
Go.
Go. Drop the gloves. But don't give it the whole. I'm ready for you. Oh, somebody else wants to fight. No, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
That's you just no. That's just pathetic and just wimpish. Really, you're the coward, not the other person.
Moving on to the second incident, which was, of course, Makela getting chucked out. Sorry?
Tuukka.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't pronounce his first name.
What is his first name?
Yeah, I can't pronounce his
Okay, so Makela gets chucked out for what looked quite an innocuous challenge. I'm not disagreeing it wasn't a penalty. He came in from behind, but I think he went over a player and Robert Dowd accidentally hit his head into the boards. He didn't play the rest of the game, to be fair, after that. But it was more accidental than purposeful from where I was sitting.
It did. I mean, I was the other end of the ice, but I got a pretty clear view, and it did look. It was. Yeah. But from the other end of the ice, and he was actually falling over as he went in. So yeah, it was a penalty. Was it a 5+ game? No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was another not particularly impressive Hicks decision.
You'll see them every week. You'll see those type of challenges, or however you want to describe them. You'll see them every week.
I think it was just unfortunate that Dowd hit his head and got injured.
Yeah. But and obviously we hope he's okay.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm not being that horrible, but if he caught his head wrongly, that's not necessarily that person's fault. If you go into the penalty call itself, how many times is there a call and somebody might, damage themselves more than what the actual, physical action was? Just because he, was down for a long time. And I think this is what happened a lot throughout the game and back to the Spencer thing. They stayed down a long time. The Steelers were, obviously causing ruckus, and Doug was off his bench and blah, blah, blah. So it affects the referee. And that gives more.
Yeah.
Obviously, we hope that's okay and stuff like that, but that's not the actual. That was not the action that Tuukka did. I mean, that is just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can argue that they took a lot of penalties tonight, and they did, but they also played Hicks like a cheap violin, frankly.
So, we'll move on again to the third period. Another incident where you've got Jason Hewitt dragging Jensen all over the ice. Now, what was the difference between that and the Henley incident? Because I don't think there was any difference. So why did Hewitt only get a 2+10 and a 5 and not a match?
Well, yeah, but this goes to the ref, which I imagine is the next point. But the whole refereeing throughout the whole game, it was ridiculous. It was a joke. So everybody's there thinking, right, well, he's got to get the same call as Henley. What's he get? 2+10.
I only think he got as much as he did because of the crowd baying for that. It is wrong that it happened, but I honestly think Hewitt wouldn't have got as much as he did if he hadn't thrown Henley out earlier.
Well, no, because Henley has got a match. Henley's got a match penalty, and he gets 2+10. That is not. You can't.
And what I'm saying is, I don't think he'd have got that.
Well, that is just a joke. I'm sorry, but that is ridiculous.
I agree with you entirely.
They are exactly the same thing.
We're not arguing.
I know. But what I'm saying is that is exactly the same thing. Get
out me shots.
I'm literally, I'm Hewitt. I'm pulling everybody. You tell me what is the difference? There is no difference whatsoever. So he should get exactly the same, and he doesn't. You would think in that sense, though, as a referee, maybe it would favour the home team, because 9 times out of 10, some referees favour the home team.
Long, have you?
Well, no, I'm just offering that as a sporting view, but it don't. But no, it should have been exactly the same. But your wife's getting bored of holding the camera.
Yeah. Okay, so very quickly, sum it up. Great third period, fantastic.
Yes.
Third period, just brilliant.
Yes.
And now, by the power of time travel, we'll return to tomorrow. Thank you.
So that was all recorded last night. A very happy place as it was in here last night. Of course, it is now 10 p.m. on Monday evening as we record this. About half an hour, there was some discipline news came through from the Elite League and Murray Hansen. 2 bans for Panthers players. The Tuukka Makela one we will get onto, but I think we'll start with the one we expected, which was Brett Henley receives 2 matches for excessive roughness. The reason it says that he is receiving his two matches is because the severity of the incident, and this is Henley's second excessive roughness penalty this season. I was expecting a ban for Henley. I've got to say, fair enough.
Yeah, he was already going to get a game anyway because he got a match penalty, but another game on top is fair enough. One question though, are we now always taking previous convictions into account, Millard?
I believe so. I think it happened in the convoy incident as well. But I think you've got to have some sort of consistency. I think previous convictions from that season should be looked at.
Yeah, but are we then punishing the action or the player.
Well, yeah, that's a fair point.
That's for another. And you know, I said at the time what Henley did was a bit stupid, frankly. I wouldn't say that if he was stood there. He's a big lad, but you know, it just wasn't. It wasn't needed, and okay, we came out and won the game in the end, but it could have cost us so easily.
Well, thankfully it didn't. Of course, the controversial one is the Tuukka Makela penalty, who has received a 2-game ban. Of course, it was only course 5+ game on the night for boarding. Robert Down, of course, unfortunately got quite a bad head injury, which didn't ice for the rest of the game, and we wish him a very, very speedy recovery and hope it's not too serious. However, it seemed more clumsy than malicious, and Makela was straight down to him to call for help. They seem to just trip over each other rather than it being a hit. However, Murray Hansen has said, I've handed out a 2-match suspension because of the distance Makela travelled before hitting the player in a vulnerable position on the ice, and this incident then causing injury. Now, of course, it was called a game penalty on the night. It appears that this has only been reviewed because the Steelers asked for a supplemental review.
It's hardly surprising, is it? Really, I mean, you know, whenever you've got those rules there, people are going to exploit them. You know, and they made sure they tried to get everybody out there on their side by having the video of the offence. That was the Henley one. Ignore that. Sorry, we're not doing that again. They're going to do it. Whatever the option is there, people are going to use it, rightly or wrongly. For me, I think it shouldn't be allowed. I think it should only be about what the league hands down. You know, because who's in charge of discipline here? The league or the teams? You know. So
I mean, I would be in favour of actually Murray Hansen reviewing every game tape, and if he feels that something from that deserves extra discipline, then fair enough. I don't think it should be up to the teams to cite it. And the other thing that was interesting about that incident is not one of the Sheffield players actually reacted to it happening. Yeah. Nobody went for Makela. Nobody went to touch him. Nobody went to remonstrate with him, and that speaks volumes. Yeah. If the Sheffield players weren't going to take retribution out on the ice, which, let's face it, where it should stay, then why has he been given supplemental discipline?
But does that say more about Sheffield than about the league rules? I mean, look at last time we played him down here when Lacroix got injured, and his teammates then just left him on the ice. There was nobody over him. The physio had to walk the length of the ice practically on his own. But I mean, I'm just a bit gobsmacked by it, frankly. It was clumsy. It was a penalty. There's no doubt there. But they've both fallen over. So Makela had tripped over, Dowd had tripped over. And that's what made it worse. Yes, it was a penalty that was accidentally made worse, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, well, I suppose there'll be much fallout to come on social media over the next few days. Going to be a fun place, I tell you. And
I think we've been quite calm, frankly. Mind you, there was an half-hour gap between the last bit we filmed and this bit while he calmed down.
Yeah, got to get rid of the steam out of my ears. Anyway, so that is the end of this second part of Cats Whiskers TV. Thanks for joining us for both parts. If you did, thank you very much.
And if you didn't, why not?
They won't have heard you, they're not watching. So, until next week, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.